50 cents.
I want to see what the numbers look like for the number of U.S. citizen deaths during different presidential administrations.
Okay.
We're not talking about, school shootings and things like that, but we're talking about what can be directly attributed to governmental policy. Right? The response to COVID, ICE, weaponization of ICE, and things like that. And what's interesting is I find little when it comes to ICE, right? But I'd be willing to bet you if someone can do the analysis for me that there has never been as many U.S. citizens killed under any presidential administration than there has been under this current one. U.S. citizens killed by government agencies directly. So what was interesting is most of the statistics talk about COVID. And even when you look back at this administration's response to COVID, it talks about more deaths than the Civil War, more deaths than World War II. U.S. citizens, right? Directly related to administrative policies. That's the kind of thing that scares the heck out of me when I think about the future of not just the country, right? I've never been a deeply political, wear a pair of flag striped drawers kind of person, but just the future of humanity. That there's been so many deaths directly related to this current administration's policies, whether it's ICE going into Minneapolis, shooting people, pulling people over on a highway, pointing guns out, moving cars, like, some episode of I don't know, Starsky and Hutch, right? It just tells you how it's I will always say this quote that it just came to me a while back. The true enemy is the enemy of humanity. It's not a white person. It's not a black person, green, blue. It's not an Iranian. The enemy of humanity is the true enemy. The one who has a complete disregard for anyone else's value to live on this earth other than his own. And that's what we've seen. Yep. That's what worries me the most about the future of this country for our children.
But that's why we can't leave it to them. That's why I continue to say Christians in the church has failed, because it's been clear a long time ago that humanity ain't important to these people. So then who fills that void? Who fills that gap? Because there's people out here still need stuff. People still hurting. The government is no longer concerned with that. But so then where are we? Where am I? I'm going to put it on my, what am I doing out here to counter that? Because there's stuff I can do. I wish I need to volunteer more, like going to the food bank, doing little, and it's interesting, man. You go, and I know, Derek, you do a lot of volunteering and stuff too. And it's really not about the thing that you're doing. It's the human interaction, man, with the people and you humanize these, because so many people that are in need are not looked upon as human. They're just they're not seen at all. And I make a point. Everybody that comes through, I try to talk to them and get to know them, and just make them feel, I see you, man. I'm not no different from you.
Right.
I'm just a few paychecks away from being at this food bank. So I think that's where we got to step in. Those people are who they are. They're not going to change. Nothing is going to change in them. But we need to be out here doing more, man. I mean, I just still the churches can do more, man. We don't need to build no more buildings. We got enough. We got enough sanctuaries, bro. for select people to come to. Because you ain't letting the wrong people come in there. You gonna let a guy come in there that ain't had a bath in a month? No, you're not. You're not gonna let him come and sit on your pews that you paid for. You know, that's on us. That's why the church that we used to go to, I used to tell them they'd have a men's conference every year. I said, man, why don't we go and do this like in some neighborhood in a park and just throw up a big tent and just let people see all these men out there worshiping in a real neighborhood that full of people that have not been exposed to Christians. Why don't we do that instead of printing up some expensive high gloss flyers, sticking them on people's cars? Come on, man. Is that really what God intended when he says go and make disciples? He didn't say go build buildings and send out an invite and hope that the people come. He didn't say that. And we building churches on every corner, man, and have them empty because we not going out getting the people. You know, it's just stuff like that I struggle with, man. And like I said, I know I'm going to start. I can do more. I can represent Christ better. I know I can. But I don't run a church. You know, so why not have your revival once a month outside in Fraser Court, in Bonton, in Bronx? You know what I mean? Where the people who never see that can see it. And that would draw, because God said they will be drawn to you by your love, but they don't see our love because we ain't out there where they at. And we want them to come to us. It's so weird, man. And we having conferences and leadership conferences and teaching conferences and small group conferences, and for what? It's a simple commandment. Love God with all your heart. Love your neighbor as yourself. Forget about the rest. Wow. Forget about the rest. It don't matter. Speaking in tongues don't matter. Hungry people don't care nothing about speaking in tongues. All them homeless people down by the lot, they don't care about that. They want to eat. I don't care if you speak in tongues or not, but we're not doing. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm just frustrated.
Woke up 50 plus, knees talk first, then God, then coffee. Mirror like bruh, you tired. Soul like bruh, you chosen. Kids grown, phone slow, house quiet. Old wounds still renting out my silence. I press record on the doubt and the damage. Turn midlight panic in the language. This that 50 cent.